Another thing that I've seen come up too is when there's a skeleton crew in the client side, and we all know it's very difficult to hire right now and retain good people, and you're almost always understaffed. But then the vendor does find a problem that is going to cost you as the client more work. Maybe it's for these groups of payers, we have to do these 7 extra things now because now they're replacement plans instead of traditional Medicare plans or whatever it is. And it's technically not in the scope of work of the RCM vendor, and it is going to take bodies and time. And usually they're not overstaffing, and oftentimes they're compensated on a percent of collections. So if doing these extra 7 steps, yes, in theory, it will improve collections because instead of getting a denial, I'll get it paid the first time. But there's going to be some hemming and hawing about who's supposed to be responsible for this. One tactic that a rev cycle director can easily pull, especially if you're working sort of a hybrid with a hybrid vendor who's part onshore, part offshore, where offshore resources may be a little bit more affordable, you can just say, hey, I would just want to hire someone full-time or fractionally, independent of our cost of collection work, to take care of this other chunk of work that we now have to be responsible for. So it may only cost you another $800 a month, and you can solve this problem that's actually going to return 20 grand a month. And it means that it may have been something that's not in the traditional scope of work of the RCM vendor, but they will happily staff for it. And if you can do that, you can plug holes in ways that are a little bit more creative, and you can augment your current staffing model that you have with your revenue cycle director or with your revenue cycle vendor with sort of staff resources that are billed differently. You don't want to change. Maybe you got a good 4.5% rate, whatever it might be. You're not going to want to change that to 5% to cover this extra person. You just want to have a person doing a job all the time or half the time, whatever it is. You can hire that way. And most RCM vendors are happy to do that to satisfy the client and make you not churn, make you happy,